the U.S. has finally had enough of the Houthis, and the find out phase commenced. With over 100 missiles.
Would you prefer Business Insider or USNI News?
Hey, we're kind of friends with Business Insider, at least Gonky is. So
let's see them.
So new videos show intense strikes on the Iran-backed Houthis. Is it Houthis or Houthis? I don't know. I'm always getting hung up.
Houthi and the blowfish.
Okay. Who are vowing revenge after getting hit by well over 100 missiles. New footage released by the U.S. and UK militaries show their forces readying to carry out a series of strikes against Houthi targets in Yemen and the intense bombardment that ensued. The strikes, which took place early Friday morning local time and came in response to months of attacks by the Iran-backed rebels on international shipping lanes, hit over 60 targets at 16 Houthi locations and involved the firing of more than 100 precision-guided munitions of various types, according to U.S. Air Force's Central. Western officials said the strikes were launched from airborne, surface, and subsurface platforms, jets and warships, and at least one submarine, and targeted radar stations, weapons storage facilities, and launch sites, command and control nodes, and production facilities across Yemen. U.S. Central Command and UK Defense Secretary Grant Shapps shared footage of American and British fighter jets and support aircraft respectively taking off for the nighttime operation. Shall we watch? That was loud.
Yeah. That must have been the tanker burner shot.
Those night burner shots are great.
I always wonder if this is like just file footage.
Detailed results of the strikes are being assessed, but early indications are that the Houthis' ability to threaten merchant shipping has taken a blow, said the UK Defense Ministry. In a statement echoing this, a senior Biden administration official said the action was carried out under the expectation that it will degrade in a significant way the Houthis' ability to stage attacks. And they're telling us what the Houthis have been doing, which we knew. Remains to be seen if a single night of strikes deter the Houthis from future attacks. A retired Australian major general and strategist told Business Insider that the U.S. and its partners may have to conduct additional strikes if it wants to more completely degrade the Houthis' military capabilities. Some other experts have suggested Friday strikes are unlikely to produce tangible results. It seems like they have an awful lot of infrastructure if you can hit them that hard and not make a dent.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised too.
Yeah. I think they're getting, a lot of help, of course.
The amount of weapons that were put down, and they killed 5 people? It was a very small amount. This is all like infrastructure and their ability to do weapons and stuff. But I don't know if you guys saw, like 2 days ago or yesterday, unfortunately 2 Navy SEALs are missing.
I saw that.
And what they were doing was boarding a ship that was from Iran with warheads being sent to Yemen. So they were trying to stop the influx of weapons into the area. And unfortunately,
they're lost at sea, right? Like they didn't find them.
Yeah. So one guy fell off while they were getting off the boat, and then the other guy jumped in to save him, and then they lost both of them.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
So just really sad. But as far as these attacks goes, I mean, it's they talk this big game, but this is all low threat, right? This is, if you made Top Gun, which we'll talk about Top Gun 3 here in a minute, but if you made Top Gun, it would be the most boring thing ever because it's literally just drive, check, pickle, check, watch it die on your targeting pod, and then go home. Yep. And there were some that were going from the UK that was like 7 or 8 hour missions. They were like land-based to go drop the bombs and come back. And the Houthis, and the reason we wanted to talk about this was they were claiming they were getting kills. So they were out there on their little social media sites saying, we have killed the F-22. And they had killed like all the F-22s, all the F-35s, jets that weren't even in theater. that they had shot down, and they were showing pictures of wreckage that doesn't look anything like the F-22 or anything like that, and saying, this is them. But my question was, I did a video. So the Houthi Air Force, so they have confiscated some aircraft. One in particular was a lone F-5. And one F5, and they went and did a flyover.
That's all you need.
That's what I was waiting for. But then
the right pilot.
That's right. That's all you need.
Then they came out and said it's not combat effective anymore, which I don't know what that means if a strike hit it. But my question is, where is that guy now? I'm kind of worried about him. I want to know where that one pilot that was, because it reminded me of our days at VFA 204. Where we only had the one jet.
Well, then that means the pilots are all in the ready room drinking coffee, looking out the window.
So
that's
special.
Exactly what it means.
You're a resident F5 expert. Still are. Let's put you in this situation. You are Houthi, and the great Satan is bombing your country. And you are tasked with taking your F5 and defending everything. What do you do?
I mean, you have two options. You go back to the ready room.
I knew it.
Or the only other thing you could do is ram the guy.
Ram the guy.
So kamikaze,
drinking coffee. Kamikaze or drinking coffee.
Dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it has, I mean, I'm sure that one has no air-to-air capability. So
it didn't in the video.
With it? In
the video, it didn't. Doug, you have that, right? You're showing that. Yeah, there you go. Houthi F5 is not combat effective. Can we watch that video? Oh, turn it down. We're going to get demonetized.
Uh-oh.
All the way.
Yeah, I saw that video, and if that's the airplane, it's completely slick.
Yeah.
Is that on the side? Is that like the instructions on how
That's the death to America stuff.
Oh.
That's all the, death to Israel, death to America.
Die Gonky.
Yeah. No more Gonky.
Oh, yeah.
Specialist greatest F5 pilot in history of world. Is that the nose strut extended? Or did they just not care?
That is not extended right there.
Does it need to be?
It does.
Is it extended there?
It didn't. Yeah, that looks like it was extended.
Okay, so maybe he just did it on the roll.
He did it on the roll, so he looked cool.
Left his flaps down though, so kind of losing some points there. Or he's an auto, right? Auto flaps.
It's an auto.
Yeah.
Dude, how awesome! You're not only the only fighter pilot in the country, you're the only fighter jet in the. You want to talk about a high value asset? I mean, dude, this is it. This $25,000 jet you're in is the high value asset.
25,000.
All right, 250,000.
There's no way he's got a serviceable gun. So I mean, what would you do?
Yeah,
aileron rolls is what you do. He's doing it right there. That's all you can do is aileron rolls.
Oh, don't get shot down by your own.
Oof.
Dude, how cool would that be though? To be like only dude, but then you get your own parade. And you're the fly. I've done a single ship flyover, by the way, and it's more embarrassing than anything.
It's dude, you could do it. You could go as low and as fast as you want. It's like, go ahead, try to FNAV me.
He's the general of the Air Force.
Who else you got to fly this thing?
There's the chute.
Hey, special. Did the Navy ones have the chute?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did you ever use it?
We would use it periodically just to keep the chutes exercised.
Yeah.
If it was raining really bad and you wanted to use the chute, you could use the chute. It wasn't a big deal at all.
Could you really feel it?
Oh yeah.
Really?
It made a huge
big difference.
It initially when the chute comes out, it feels like taking a field arrestment.
Really?
I mean, yeah. It's really. It was surprising the first time I did it.
Learn something every day.
Yeah.
So strikes are obviously ongoing here. We don't know the status of the F5, which I think has unfortunately gone the way of Harambe. But my concern is when this escalates, I mean, what other factions are going to be involved? But they just launched more attacks today. They didn't learn because they hit a ship today that turned around, and now there was more strikes, and so they're going to keep doing it, and we're going to keep.
We talked about it last week, and I mean, special, like the piece of K of our weapons is pretty good, but eventually, like something's going to get through and hurt something like big. It's not going to be good. I mean,
no,
unfortunately.